questions for me? Mr. Connor?
Just one comment.
Yeah.
When you do pulmonary exercise, you check your oxygen level after each exercise.
That is correct. So yes, you want to be maintaining your oxygen saturations 90% and above, and that pulse ox will allow you to be able to check your oxygen and heart rate. Good point. So yeah, if you're doing any exercise on your own, make sure you're keeping your oxygen saturations 90% and above.
I'd just like to make a great talk.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was great. My name is Dennis, by the way. About 3 weeks ago, I attended my 7-year-old grandson's basketball game for the first time. And as all of the kids are running up and down the court, all of the parents in the audience are yelling at the kids to do this, do that. There was one gentleman who was obviously a basketball player in his youth that was yelling to his son, who happened to be the best player on the court, breathe through your nose. And I looked at him and I said, whoa, I've never heard anybody yell to their child, breathe through your nose. Very important. And I went over and I applauded him. I said, you're absolutely right. And I said, how do you know that? He said, very important. Very important. This is made for breathing. This is made for eating. Okay, there's a reason that it's here.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, ma'am.
I was really surprised about you mentioning the oxygen being able to be worn while you bathe.
Yeah.
Is that for showering too?
Yes, ma'am.
And it doesn't make any difference how much I'm on a very high amount of
It
oxygen.
does not make any difference. Because it is positively flowing out of the machine, it won't get sucked back
I can't believe
to
that.
your
That is,
concentrator.
makes it
I'm
so
glad that helped you
difficult.
that much today. It makes,
critical.
like, yes. It might have been my talk with you
Yeah.
that when she first became my patient a long time ago, she was like, are you sure? That kind of weirds me out. I mean, my machine's on, and I got the oxygen on, and am I going to get electrocuted by doing this? She was worried about being electrocuted, and I got that. It was a light bulb moment for me because I had been saying, bathe with your oxygen on for several years before meeting Wanda, but I never thought that maybe the reason people weren't doing it is they thought they were going to get electrocuted, and that's I get it. So, but no, that moisture will not get back to your machine. It's going to continuously flow out of your home unit, and it will help you.
I would say maybe turn the nebulizer with the humidifier bottle off.
Yeah, you may not need it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The humidifier. Yes, sir.
I got a question about your venting the shower. A lot of us, the humidity and steam in a shower helps breathing, and in fact the doctors recommend humidifiers and in some cases vaporizers, which is contrary to what you're telling us.
Well, it helps with mucosal clearance. So if you are more congested, increased humidification, like to that extent, high humidity will help with clearance of your mucus. However, when you add, and I learned this from doing my weather blog, because I said, why do people complain that it's hard to breathe when it's humid outside? However, when you replace the gas is basically in the air with more water vapor, you can actually make it harder to breathe by adding more water vapor to your air. By decreasing partial pressure, it affects the partial pressure of oxygen in the air and things of that nature. So which then makes you more short of breath. So our lung patients, I have to say, and most of our lung patients breathe more comfortably in cooler, drier air. So that's why we keep pulmonary rehab 68 degrees all year long. Much to the dismay of my little tiny folks in there who have like no extra body fat. It's 68 degrees because it's comfortable breathing weather, breathing temperature and breathing humidity. But yes, increased humidity does help the nasopharynx, and if you have increased mucus in your lungs, to get it up because it's going to kind of wet everything and help you move mucus. But if you're not having a mucus issue, humidity is not going to make it comfortable to breathe in. So they're right in a sense. You don't want to dry, it's a really fine balance. You don't want to dry it out. You want to add humidity, and a lot of times we're adding humidity to things like oxygen and things like that because the gas coming out of those tanks is dry oxygen, and because it's extra flow through the airs, it dries it out. And so they say, okay, let's put these bubble bottles and things like that that a lot of times can't pick up the moisture as much as like warmed air anyways. They'll say, let's add these in there to make the patient more comfortable while breathing oxygen. Because all that extra flow of gas is going to be drying to the nasopharynx area. That's fine to have the humidity, but the lungs, I don't know that it does a whole lot of good unless you are congested. Yes, that's why we turn on those humidifiers. Sometimes when we get bad chest colds and things like that, we'll turn on like a coolness humidifier to kind of move that congestion out. But if the congestion in your bag, and that's not your issue and not a part of your lung condition, the increased humidity is probably not going to do much for you. Good question. Just me and his diet.
Yeah, this is not a question, I just want to reiterate what you said at the beginning about encouraging your doctor to refer you to pulmonary rehab. A lot of them don't think of it, mine did not, and I asked for it, and so I be your own best advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why a lot of times it's not on the forefront of their brain. You know, if I saw a patient, and I'm not a physician, but if I saw a patient and they say, I've been very inactive, I want to be stronger, they give you these catchphrases, that would be like, hey, well, let's try something that's in a more controlled environment that you can be monitored and see if this will help increase your strength. Subsequently, not everybody needs pulmonary rehab. You know, if they're exercising well on their own with very little difficulty without the, you know, and even if they need oxygen, if they're able to bring their own oxygen to their gym and exercise and they're comfortable with that, they don't always need us, but they need the education. And so, you know, I think we walk a fine line because we want to work with people who need the pulmonary rehab and need the education and some monitoring and maybe some insight on the oxygen, but not everybody needs rehab. But I think everybody needs to exercise. One of the funniest questions I get is, how long do I need to exercise? And I'm like, well, forever sound too long to you? Forever sounds like a good length of time to me. What about you? And so the exercise portion, being active and keeping your strength, is for everything. That's just, it's something like taking your vitamins and drinking water, and that's a daily thing that you have to do. And so exercise is part of that. Wellness is what they call it, the wellness portion. And so, yes, I definitely think people need to get referred to, especially if they've been inactive, they need more insight on their breathing. They don't need to stay long. Not everybody needs to stay long. And so we'll be ready and willing to work with anybody, but if it's a matter of just getting some exercise in and you're comfortable and not needing oxygen, then start slow. And like Mr. Connor said, you know, the purchase of a pulse ox just to kind of monitor heart rates and oxygen here and there is not a bad idea. And they typically, now that when I first graduated from school, they were like $150 a piece. Now they're $35 to $40 online.
And those are fairly accurate.
Yeah, they're very accurate. Yeah, we'll check them against our machines there, and there may be 1% difference, and so it's kind of hard to know which one's right.
But there's not a certain brand that you could get.
No, for the blog I saw there was one called AccuCheck that was $35 to $40, but you can be picked up in Walgreens, Walmart. I'm an Amazon girl because I don't like taking all my kids into the store and end up coming out with way more than I needed. So I tend to Amazon a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, about 30, 35. Some of them have really cool aspects, like they're if you're a gizmo gadget guy, they can be Bluetooth. I have one lady that comes to work with us that has it on her iPad when she's exercising. It's pretty cool. So, last couple of things I wanted, and I'll pass these around down the tables. If you are interested in subscribing to Relive Fit, you can go on the website, or you can sign your name and email address here, and I can just submit the subscription for you. So I'll put that down the table, and if you want to sign up, feel free. If you don't, and you want to just take a look around my blog for yourself, and then decide if you want to, that's fine too. And then also, if there's some topics you want me to talk about and cover, there's a sign-up sheet for that. That's how I got to do the emergency preparedness, the weather one, the leg strengthening one, was by patients saying, please write an article on this. And so it was helpful to me, because then that's the hardest part about doing this blog, is coming up with unique content from week to week to week, and setting that deadline for myself to publish it all. I've been able to make it every single week, but sometimes I've been a little worried that it was going to come down to the end and I wasn't going to have something, but so I don't want to disappoint my subscribers. Thank you, Christina.